Welcome back, Olson Speed Shop. Quick update on where we're at as of this point. Got the Camaro done. We got it delivered up to the owners. They're happy with it. We had one bobble already. I told them there's probably going to be little bugs here and there. I was hoping it wouldn't be so soon, but he had messaged me and let me know that they were sitting at a restaurant idling for a while, and the heat got pretty hot on it. Temp light come on. Once he got on it, started driving it, the temp came down. So anyway, what we did was my wife and I ran up there yesterday. We did two things. Well, first thing we did was we went with water wetter. Now, some people think this might be snake oil, but it actually works pretty good. It'll cool temperatures down. I figured, why not try it? So we threw that in, but I think the big key was we advanced the timing 5 degrees. I had it set to the 350 horse standard for 1970, because that's what I found was a big block 350 horse, which is set at 0 degrees. And originally in '68 for the 325 horse, it was set at 4 degrees before top dead center. So it was advanced 4 more degrees. I was dumb. I should have set it at 4 right from the get-go to keep it at the 325. I thought, well, I put a 350 horse cam in it, let's set it to that standard. But retarding at 4 degrees, you're always going to get better performance when you advance it. I should have advanced it. I should have kept it advanced. That's my bad. But we got it up. We got it timed. We did. I did 5 degrees before top dead center. I advanced it a little bit, just 1 tick higher than stock. Started real good. Run real good. It felt cooler. Just heard from Bonnie, the owner, that they took it for a spin yesterday and light was good. It didn't ever have any issues. So that's good news. Good news. Let's hope it keeps going for them. They enjoy this beautiful fall weather out, and they can enjoy their car. It's a great car. We're gonna actually miss it here at Olson Speed Shop. It actually almost felt like part of the family with the amount of work that we put in it. It was truly a labor of love also. We never minded coming out and working on it. There's a little bit of stress there, I'll admit, because this isn't a car that if things go horribly south that you can just put a new engine in and call it good. This was all original '68 Camaro, and so there's a little bit of stress there. You want to make sure that everything's right and that nothing catastrophic is going to happen. But wonderful project. We just had a blast on it. With that said, we're going to move on to our next project. There's no rest for the wicked, and keeps us out of trouble. So we've pulled in our new project. This is 94 S10 that we picked up. Actually, we picked it up right after we picked up the Camaro. We brought the Camaro home, and I think that next, like 2 or 3 days later, we went and picked this up. This thing's a little sweetheart. It's a 94 S10. It's got 97,000 original miles on it, and we bought it from the original owner. And it's been garaged its whole life. It is a nice, sweet little truck. We have at one point had 3 S10s. We had 2, and then when I bought this, we sold a little gold S10 that we had. It was a little 2-wheel drive S10. But my favorites in these is the 4.3 V6, and I like a manual shift. I like the 5-speed transmission. This one came up, said that it needed motor work, and it's a 4.3. It's the 5-speed, and the bonus here is that it's a 4-wheel drive. I live in Utah. We get winters. Sometimes it doesn't seem like we get lots of snow every winter, but you always have 2 or 3 good snow days where 4-wheel drive comes in handy. So this is going to actually be our new shop truck for now. And I'll commute to it back and forth to work instead of driving my Duramax. I like to keep the miles low on the Duramax, and pretty much bought that just to tow my camp trailer and my car hauler. And I sold my gold S10, so I've been having to drive the Duramax and put miles on it. Don't want to do that a lot. So here we are with this one. So we evaluated it, and we found out that it had a rod knock. Well, and I knew right when we went over to buy it, the guy had mentioned, I don't really know what the problem is, but it's gonna possibly need a motor. The minute I started it up, I knew what it was. I knew it was a rod knock. We'll start this in a little bit to show you what a rod knock sounds like. You hear rod knock, a lot of times you'll think it's gonna knock, 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 knock. It's a little bit true. Sometimes they do knock, but as you'll hear on this one, sometimes it's a different sound. And well, let's just start it right now. But as you can see, I haven't cleaned the engine bay at all. We pulled it in just 10 minutes ago, and we actually drove it. It runs and drives. It sounds terrible. Everyone looks your way as you drive by. Kind of wondered if we'd make it back from the car wash. We actually ran it down to the car wash and got it washed up so it wasn't dirty and nasty, because it sat on the side of my house for 3 months, so it got kind of crappy. But so what happened with this before we started up, you kind of think 97,000 miles, why is the engine bad? What happened here, these 4.3s are a little bit prone to bad head gaskets, sadly. I would say that's their weak point on these. And anyway, I suspect a head gasket went bad on it because the oil's getting antifreeze in it. I think the owner probably had it. He was an older gentleman. Bought it brand new. Like I said, one owner car that we bought it from. But he probably run it. Antifreeze leaked into the oil. He didn't know it. Thinned the oil out, and it spun a bearing and got a rod knock in it. The minute I went to pick it up, I started it up. I'm like, I know what that is. Checked the oil. It was over full. Yep, it's going to need a motor. And I planned for it. Right over here is the motor that's going to go in it. I picked this motor up out of Wyoming. I think it come out of Wyoming. Anyway, went down, or had them ship it up. It's got about the same miles as the S10 has on it. It's got good compression, good leak down. The only problem with these, so this is a 94 S10. 94 and 95 are 1 year only trucks as far as this engine goes. If this had been a 96 on up to 2000, whatever, 2, 3, 4. Did they make them in 4? Anyway, those blocks and heads and everything would have worked, but this is a 2-year motor, 94, 95. This come out of a 95 truck, S10, and it's the lowest miles I could find that was within the distance that I was willing to pay. So, and I think it'll be a good truck. The only debate I got right now is whether to pull the heads or not and change the head gaskets, so I don't have that same problem. I probably will, but if I pull the heads, I'm probably going to take the heads to a machine shop and have them go through it. That's the debate right now. Not sure which way I'll go. We'll watch and find out, because that's where we're at. So let me let you know. Let me show you what a rod knock sounds like. Now, there's 2 things this could be when you hear it. It could be a rod knock, or it could be an idler pulley. The way it sounds. Let me start it. now you can understand why we wondered if we'd make it home from the car wash. This is worse than what it was when I first bought it. When I first bought it, you had that high-pitched chirping that you heard. That possibly could be an idler pulling, or idler. So these idlers seize up, or the bearings go bad on them, and they will chirp. Like I said, the reason I knew this was a rod knock, and you can obviously tell it's a rod knock now because there is a lot more knocking, but initially it was just the chirp, 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 chirp. But when I pulled the oil, I saw it way overfilled with the antifreeze. You just know right then that it's that. I did double check it. I pulled the serpentine belt completely off and I started it and it still made noise. So at that point, I knew for sure 100% it was a rod knock. I pulled the oil filter full of oil, put it back on, ordered a motor. So that's where we're at. But I'll have Steven go around. This truck is nice. It's a 94, and in Utah, with the winters that we have, the salt they use on the roads, this thing's just a little sweetheart. It really is. Like I said, 97,000 original miles. Gonna go around and show you. The guy had just put brand new tires on it. I think he said they had 500 miles on the tires when he bought it. It has the shell. I debated on whether to keep the shell or not. I think I will, just because I mean, this is going to be kind of a shop truck, commuter truck, and it'll be nice to be able to keep stuff in it and keep it dry. But it had a carpet kit. I am not a fan of carpet kits. They just kind of gross me out, really, because they get dirty. Anyway, I guess if you keep it clean, that's fine. But every carpet kit that I've had in a truck that I've bought has just been gross. But people love them because I put them on our local ads to sell them, and they go like hotcakes. So first thing I did, I sold the carpet kit. I mean, that was like second day I had it. Someone came and bought the carpet kit. That's great. But you can see how clean it is. It's had a bed liner in it its whole life. It had the carpet kit in. It's got the shell. I'll probably leave it. Like I said, I like to keep stuff dry. I can store stuff in there as I'm driving it. But yeah, as you go around it, you can see it's a nice little clean truck. So, this video is going a little bit long, but that's where we're at Olson Speed Shop as of today. We're going to pull this motor out. We're going to put them side by side on engine stands. At that point, we'll decide whether to go through the heads or not. I'm kind of leaning towards doing the heads because this is going to be a keeper. And I know that was a good running motor, but I don't want to go through the possibility of having the head gasket leak and spinning a bearing before you notice it. But so that's where we're at, and of course we'll go through water pump, timing chain, reseal it, new intake manifold gaskets, clean everything up, get everything looking good, clean up the engine bay, and hopefully we have a good little winter driver. We got 2 weeks. Our shop's open for 2 weekends before Steven needs to get his little S10 in. He's scheduled for 2 weeks in the shop to get his S10 in. He's got to change the throwout bearing, and maybe we'll do a video on that. Really irritating because that throwout bearing is new as of a year ago.
2 years.
It's been 2 years, so it's 2 years old. Brand new clutch, brand new throwout bearing, brand new pilot bearing, and it is so loud now. It's not as loud as this truck, but it's getting loud, and it needs to be changed. So he'll pull that in. He's going to pull his trans out, swap that over. But maybe we'll do a video on that. Anyway, that's where we're at. Missing the Camaro already. This S10's fun and cool, but it doesn't hold a candle to that Camaro. That Camaro was always cool. We loved working on that thing. So Anyway, till next video, which might be when this is coming out or about ready to go out. I also, on a side note, I have video of dropping the Camaro off and Dan and Bonnie driving it. I'd like to tie that into some before and after pictures in a slideshow. Like I've said a million times, I don't know how to edit. I'm in the process of trying to get an editing program to where I can combine videos, combine photos, and anyway, stay tuned. There will be a video on the final delivery of the Camaro once I figure that out. So anyways, stay tuned, and thanks for watching, and we'll see you in a while.